Hi everybody, welcome to Chow Time. I am Spike Spencer. This is my kitchen, and today we are going to be making Borracho beans. That means drunken beans, so it's beans and beer. Pretty easy. Let's get started right off the bat. I have garlic. I'm going to be cutting up a little bit of garlic, and let's get that going. Still using the new tech, the new camera here. I don't know if this is the one we're going to keep using, but we had some tech issues earlier, and we are checking it out, and hopefully it all works well. Otherwise, I'm going to have to reshoot this whole thing. I've had to do that before. It's always fun in this kitchen. So let me tell you, so Borracho beans, it's going to be a Mexican or Spanish, based dish. For the most part, that's how I know it, because it was introduced to me at a place, my first restaurant I worked at back in '87, I think it was, and it was called Cuellar's Mexican Cafe there in Houston. If anybody remembers it, woo-hoo, Cuellar's. I love it. Great food, great food. And they had Borracho beans there, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure that's where I found them. And that's where I learned to make salsa, and that's where I learned to fall in love with the boat motor mixer, which I love my baby boat motor, but that was a big beast of a motor. And it was just, this is a very simple dish, and it's something you can throw together. I'm using canned beans. I'll show you that in just a sec. Let's just get the garlic. We're going to throw the garlic and the onions in together. I don't want to burn the garlic, so I have learned that I usually put garlic in a little bit later. We're going to chop up some onion. Easy peasy here. Now you could do a lot of things. You could put in onions and green peppers, red peppers, any kind of peppers you want if you like that. It's wide open. I'm doing it very simply with just some onion and tomatoes and garlic. Here we go. Let's see. Oh yeah. Here's the sizzle, y'all. And it's top of the sizzle. It sounds like sizzle very sexy. Okay. All right, I have some tomatoes. Now this is a perfect dish for, I'm gonna hit a little bit of salt right there in the onions. Mix them around so they don't burn. The salt helps pull the moisture out of the onions and any vegetables that you are cooking. So I highly recommend some of that. And start on the tomatoes. This is a perfect dish for tomatoes that are starting to go bad. May have a couple of bad spots around them. No big deal. You just cut around them. I mean, if they're so bad that they could rob a bank, throw them away or give them to the chicken. But these are in pretty good shape. So we're going to chop them up. You don't have to chop them up, real well. It depends. This depends on how much you like your tomatoes. If you like them big chunky, then leave them big chunky. That's how I like my lady, big chunky. I don't really care. I love my wife, and that's it. All right. And she won't be drinking it. She won't be eating this because there is gluten in beer. So if you have a gluten intolerance or allergy of any kind like that, then I highly recommend you get a gluten-free beer. Because otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Some of that tomato stirred around. Get some more tomato, a little bit more. I like to have a good amount of tomatoes. But I had a few that were looking sketch. So I figured, why not? Let's just chop them up, get them in there. Everybody's happy. Do a little dance. And of course, you can mash them up in the pot itself. No worries. Very easy. There we go. Okay, we got some tomatoes. Tomatoes. So we were living in Australia for a couple of years during the pandemonium. And so my youngest, Declan, he was going to school over there. He was in pre-K, pre-kindy, as they call it. And It was so fun because he was learning. He had an Australian accent a little bit, and so anytime he's asked for ketchup, they don't call it ketchup over there. They call it tomato sauce. So it was so cute listening to him go, "Could I have some tomato sauce, please?" Adorable. I mean, really. All right, now we've got the onions, the tomatoes, and the garlic in there now. So that's going well. So one thing I wanted to do, normally on a borracho bean, I would love to have like ham or bacon as a base. I didn't have any of that this morning. And if you want somebody who wants to go, vegetarian kind of, then you can go that way. But I do have, what is that? That is bacon grease right there. That is going to give me a little bit of smokiness that I'm looking for. Put that in there. Beautiful. So that's going down. Let's get some beans. Now, about the beans, I've got some lovely organic pinto beans from my local store. HEB, it's Texas. That's right. So I got some pinto beans. I'm going to put the pinto beans with all their goodies in there. All the juice and all that, because it's a lot of flavor. And I'm going to add a little something, something. I'm going to put all of it in there. Let go. Set my beans free. There we go. Pouring those beans in there. Pot there. I'm doing a couple of cans here. And what I'm going to do, I would do chicken broth, which is what I am going to put in there. Just a sec. Here we go. So the problem I found with chicken broth is it's hard to find like bouillon cubes and instant broths, powder broths, anything that's not pure crap. It really, most of it is, there's a lot of junk in there. But now we're going to add the borracho. Yes, I was bartender for a while too. Okay, here we go. Ta-da! Okay. I used to, when I was bartending, I bartended at a place, a few different places, but one of the places was Fat Tuesday. So if any of you guys know Fat Tuesday, if you know New Orleans original daiquiris, it was a New Orleans style daiquiri place. It would knock on your ass. Many fights there. And so we would start whipping our beer cans, the bottle caps off. And while we're walking, we had like three bottles, like, bah, bah, bah. And when they're up, we'd smack them. And they'd go flying out into the crowd. And you'd hear, hey! Sorry. All right, so I'm pouring a little bit of beer into the beans to get them borracho. There we go. Just a little bit. We'll crank it up. So what we're going to do, what I will let this, there we go. I'll let this cook down for a while. As it cooks down and the water gets out of it and it just gets tighter and tastier, all the flavors are going to really, really mash. I'm going to throw a little bit of cilantro in. And here's where I would throw in some jalapeno. But my family doesn't really like spiciness, so I got to be careful with that. So a lot of my Mexican food is a little more bland than I would like, you know what I mean? So, but I do what I can. Hit it with a little more salt, a little pepper. There we go. And anytime I'm doing Mexican dishes, Spanish dishes, I'm usually going to throw in a couple of different things. I've got some oregano here that is, I have oregano plants. So I have so much fresh oregano. Oh, it's beautiful. I would throw some oregano in there. And when I have dry herbs, I always take them and I always crinkle them and crush them in my fingers when I put them in the pot. That releases some of the essential oils there. I will always use cumin. I'll use a lot of cumin. So I'm going to hit that with a goodly son of cumin. There we are. Those two are the main ingredients I use for Mexican dishes, Spanish dishes. Spanish, I would do a few other things, but straight up Mexican style, I'm just like oregano and cumin, baby. Those are the big ones, and of course garlic and the onions, maybe all the other good stuff. All right, now we got that covered. The only other thing we have to do now is let this simmer. So I'm going to put this up on simmer, let it go for a little while. I'd say let it simmer down for about 20 minutes or so. Bring it up to a nice, not a boil, just a good simmer, and let all those flavors get together. And then we will plate it and have ourselves a bowl of Borracho beans. Okay, see you in a bit. And as you can probably hear, yes, this is where the sound went out on my new setup. So what are we going to talk about here? Well, we're talking about Borracho beans and how we have let them simmer for a little while. And so the next thing is, what if you wanted to thicken them a little bit? So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a masher, potato masher, and I am squishing some of these beans, these Borracho beans, to give it a little thickness. This is going to help thicken your beans. This is a great way to thicken up soups, different things, as you mash a little bit of it in there. And also you can, of course, bring out the lovely, my favorite, the baby boat motor and hit it for a minute. But you don't want to make it a full-on just creamy soup. I mean, you could go that way if you were so inclined, but, you know, we'll see. So now I think I'm cutting up a tomato, Isn't this fun? Because now I'm in my studio and we've got really good sound. And there I am chopping. I'm doing a pretty good job there. I've only cut my fingers off like 2-3 times in my life, so that's good. And, yeah. Now I'm peeling an onion, so I'm going to add some more onion on top of that, which is obviously super cool. I want to do that. And so we're going to use some different sound techniques next time because, I don't need to go in the booth and do this every time, even though the sound is much better. This is my VO sound booth. And, yeah. So finishing off the Borracho beans here, what I would also do is chop up a little bit of cilantro. What I'm doing is kind of a makeshift pico de gallo, which, by the way, there's another show, a pico de gallo show. So I'm chopping up a little tomato, a little onion, a little cilantro, maybe sprinkle a little salt and pepper on top of that, and that would be a garnish. And, oh yeah, that tastes so good. Now, I'm in the booth. Obviously, I didn't just have a taste of it, but I remember, and it was really freaking good. Borracho beans are awesome, easy to make. They're fast. They're tasty. They don't cost a lot. I highly recommend you make some Borracho beans for yourself and your family as soon as you freaking can, because they're really, really good. Also, be sure and watch the next video that I'm going to have here at the end. I've got a couple of videos for you. I think I'm going to put on pico de gallo for one. And you know what? I don't know. Maybe I'll let the next one be whatever is best for you. Borracho beans. All right, guys. That's it for Borracho beans. Please like, comment, subscribe, and start a conversation. Tell me all the kind of things that you would put in your Borracho beans. Maybe you got a story where you had it one time. I don't know. I love stories about food. I'm a foodie too, right? So thank you for coming. Watch my next video that I'm going to share with you next, and check it all out. And thank you so much for coming to my kitchen. I love doing this. So let's have fun. It's chow time. Let's eat.